Hey buddy, John Planet Tech, and I haven't done a video in a very, very long time. I'm on some vacation because I love vacation. But I got really, really into rebuilding a project and then learning how to do it in Unity. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do this in CopperCube. We're going to build a project from start to finish. And then I'm going to just do some off and on videos because they've worked on some softwares that I've used and they've come out with new ones to make the job easier. It doesn't mean that I'm any good at any of this. It just means that I would like to show you my processes and you can either improve on them or we can have some dialogue in the comments so I can learn stuff and I can go down rabbit holes. Like my dad, I go down rabbit holes on every single project on any sort of topic. So we're going to be talking about a couple of softwares and how to do stuff. And this is how I do stuff. This is not the best way to do stuff, but in case you're hitting your head on something, you're going, I don't know how to do it. I can show you my way, and then you can go, oh, I've learned this, but if you do it this way, it's better. And hopefully you talk about that in the comments down below. So we're going to be dealing with CopperCube 6, not with Unity yet. We're going to be dealing with Blender and a little bit with GIMP, Paint.net. Which version of Blender? Because I float about 3 or 4 different types. So I use, where's splash screen? Preferences. Is preferences going to show me? I don't think it is. It has been save full factory setting. It has been a hot minute since I opened up. It's not wanting to show up. There we go. It's been a hot minute since I did anything in Blender. There we go. Splash screen. So the 3.51. Is that? Yeah, that's what I'm using. 3.51 because it is similar in the in-betweens of 2.49, which is what I have 1,000 hours in, like a billion hours in, between Ubuntu, like Linux distros, and Windows. I also use 2.6, but in the anything in the 2 series, from what I've gleaned off of the Reddit and the Blender forums, is that it can't do FBX import. Well, no, it can do export, it can't do import. So I actually really, really like the 3.5. I'm still hitting my head on some stuff, but I can clonk around enough in it to get what I need done. And it has the imports and exports that the 5 and I think the 6 series don't have or are broken. But I need for my projects. Also, its importer and exporter of FBX just works, and it has what we need. It has the MS3D, which I love. It has STL. It has GLB. And why are we talking about FBX and GLB? One, I use Mixamo, which I'm actually trying to get away from. So we're gonna hop this over here. So I use Mixamo a lot, and we're going to talk about that here, but I just had a brain blast because I was working on this till about 11 last night. Mesh2 Motion is like one of the best softwares out there. Is it clunky? Does it have some issues that I'm still trying to work on? Yes, but I actually would like to use it over Mixamo. It says Mixamo. I don't know how long it will be supported for because Adobe does not support it anymore. It's just there. They've got it to a point to where it just works and they're not going to do really anything else to it. And I'm pretty sure if it breaks, it's just And I'm pretty sure they're just being forced to keep it around because there are certain studios that have it in their system. Then maybe they're developing on it until where Mixamo can just borrow some of that code to keep Mixamo for free version alive for everybody. But you can upload a character. I kind of forgot what the arrow update stuff is and everything. I might be wrong on all this. All I know is that it's no longer supported. I can't like keep 5 of my characters in the system anymore. It's just is what it is. So, method of motion is really, really awesome uh, because it doesn't host any or keep any of your projects, and I'm thinking about donating to it permanently so that I can be like, hey, I would like to have this, as long as enough people are into it. But it just, can I use your rig, upload, human, load, Fox. There we go. Actually, hold up, back. And I know you're like, John, this is not a tutorial. You're just talking. I want to talk about this. If you want to go ahead, speed ahead, speed ahead. But I really, really like this software. And then set skeleton. We're going to set it to human. All fingers. I usually set thumb and main. And then edit skeleton. And then you set it to like this. This is already pre-mapped. And then we go to finish. I'm just trying to speed ahead. Loading animations. There we go. And then you can just select on it. Backflip. And it just does it. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Consume. I guess you're like squeezing a power up or whatever. Crawl. Dance to Charleston. Death. And then, okay, so if I'm selecting these check marks, it's going to add it to a file. And this is what I was beating my head over, was that I was trying to, it all I think converges it to one file. And then that's all one file in one character. And sometimes when you do GLB to like a Blender or whatever, it doesn't read those correctly. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm still working on this. But I just had a brain blast with this Blender because, and that's a light that I'm working on. Don't save. Is that this is GLB. Import GLB. So if I do the character and it imports the GLB, and then I export it to CopperCube, because CopperCube doesn't import GLB formats, only FBX. It might work. The reason why I'm talking about this, and the reason why I'm talking about Mixamo, is that on Mixamo, sorry if it's lagging out, I have a 1050 Acer, and it's doing the best it can with like a million tabs open and a million projects. Is that I can just export. So T-pose, let's do the famous T-pose, and I just download that binary, just basic stuff, and then I go into Blender, and I can just import all the animated characters, go to a spline sheet. Is this spline? Editor type. Little node graphs, and space them out and add them to the character, and then import them through FBX into CopperCube. But here's the cool thing. And I haven't figured this out how it does it. So that I thought it would just, and it does, is it does do all the animations. It mixes everything up. And it's loading. There we go. And it's doing the walking and the idling. And then there's like a push button animation. But and I didn't even splice these up because I was about to do all that. I mean, it does take a minute, especially if you got like 100 million animations. That's idle. They're the same idle. That's walk. And then that's push button. As though, you could open up a door. So you could actually mix the animation. You can't mix the animations because they use two different naming formats. But this is what we're gonna do. So we're going to upload a character, select a character. It's gonna take a minute. We're gonna go to my downloads and we're just going to do Meshy AI Cyborg Athlete. And I use the Meshy AI to quickly create characters for a one-man band. Because yes, like a model, I also work about 100 hours a week. So we're gonna mesh. So it's on. It imports the meshes. We're gonna go with chin. We're gonna go with wrist, elbows, knees, and this does a smidge better job on the whole rigging thing. But like they do 3 chain fingers. No, 2 chain fingers. There we go. They do basically the exact same thing. So it's gonna rig it. Okay, there we go. As you can tell, he's looking around. Next. Cool. Now we go T-pose. And there's your T-pose. So we're going to download that, binary FBX. Then we're going to do preparing download just a moment. There you go, T-pose 2. No action pose. Let's do a basic one. Walking. Use this in place. And now you don't have to do that on mesh to motion. It just assumes already, hey, you're good. And we're going to download that. And then we're going to do IDLE. Rifle idle. We're going to download that one. And you could download any which ones you want. We're just going to do walking and unarmed idle. And then what we're going to do okay, not that blender. I have it pinned because I have like 3 or 4 different versions of Blender. As we're going to launch another Blender 3.5. Okay. Delete. And then what we're going to do is we're going to import our FBX character. And it's going to be from downloads. And we're going to do T-pose, import T-pose. There you go, and he is animated. Okay. And then what we're going to do there, it's just some basic animations. We're also going to import FBX, idle FBX, walking, animated dude, button pressing, unarmed, so do walking, that one. Okay, so we're going to select that guy, move him over there, and then we're going to also import FBX. And you could do the same thing with the GLB. Unarmed idle. And again, we're going to move him over there. Now, I haven't seen another format where they actually paste the animations over here. I have to look into that one. I've just gotten back into it. We're just going to copy. And then I like setting these at 0, so we'll just set this to 5 and paste it. And then that ends at 35, 30, 37, and we'll do 38 on that one. Copy that one, and then we'll just paste that one. And then I no longer need that guy. And I no longer need that guy. But with this dude, I go from T-pose, idle, and then king. Let's see, the end of that goes at 386. So the end of this will be 386. 387. Just to make sure. Okay, cool. So we'll just play it. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to export this guy as an FBX, and we're going to go down to downloads, and we're going to go name them as testing dude underscore 1001. And we're going to export him. So I've exported him, and now we're in CopperCube. And I understand better engines. I like this one just for play testing and expanding my brain and learning stuff. Okay, testing dude 101. And with FBX, it does take a minute for it to get into the system. Okay, there's the character. Boom. Okay, we put a... There we go. So we're going to rotate him. Oop, 90 degrees. Here we go. Minus 90. And then we're going to scale him to 0.2. Copy, paste. So he's still a smidge big. So let's go 0.1 on everything. There we go. He's a smidge small, but like, you know what? It works for what we need it right now. So that's our character. And then if we go to all, we have the walk. We have the idle. Oop. And I don't think the T-pose got moved into it. But that's literally just our walk. And then we just have to figure out which one's which, because it doesn't keep the name. And that's basically our idle. So how we're going to name it is we're going to go into edit, the first one. It's just going to go to name. It's going to be walking. Extra. I needed. We got walking. We're going to go back to editing. Sorry, guys. Number 2. It's just going to be idle. And even if I do all, I don't think it captured T-pose. Okay, so, but I have, oh, yeah, I don't think it did. So we're going to X off that. So, we're going to keep him in idle. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a collision. Material behaviors. Effects. Camera. 3D sound skybox. Camera. Third person camera collides against geometry when moved. Yes. Animated mesh 2. Yes. So it's going to be this guy. Third person self control. We're going to select him. Okay, and then we're going to hit publish. Hey there. So it kind of blipped out. So what we needed to do with the character is go to the plus sign, go to game behaviors. We're going to add game character, object person, object or person controlled by keyboard, and then we're going to do collide when moved. On game actor, we're going to select this is the person. And then when on collide when moved, we are just dealing with the collision box now, which sadly cannot be moved. Okay, there we go. Collide when moved, and then we are just going to size that down to 10, maybe 9. We'll do 8. We'll do 8. Yeah, 9. It just barely covers their feet. Okay. Boom. And then this will be a collision box. Do I care about his head? At the moment, no. This will kind of cover everything. Else we would go relative position is -10, and then we would go probably 12. It is. There we go. 10. Again. This is why I hope in CopperCube 7 some things are like Unity 2.0 or even like 3.0 to where it's like, yes, it's not Unity the full blood version, but and then we're going to launch it. And so it would just be a little bit more basic features because I actually really like CopperCube. Um, I would like some more expansion on the nodes or the ability to like Blender how we import certain code Python codes. We can do that in what is that? There we go. Yeah, cool. It looks safe. Awesome. And if you could relaunch it, please. There we go. So I'm guessing that he is stuck in the floor. So we're just going to move him a smidge above the ground, and then we're going to relaunch it. To where it just like, oh, I can edit the collision box on the character, rather than hitting ones and zeros like a million times. I mean, if you're really good at it, because at one point I was actually really good at it, I could just do the demo project up to the final project in like an entire day. I would just be like, boom, 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 done. And I need to edit the camera, but that's moving backwards. That's moving forwards. For rotating. But what is going on? What are we colliding with? Are we colliding with the camera? Third person camera. Collide with world? No. And it could just be move speed. It is jump animation. Pause after jump. Additional rotation. 90. This is again where you test it out. Okay, there we go. But I am having that issue. What happens if I do that? And it pops up that one. Okay, so that means close. I need to figure out which one I need to mess with. Additional rotation. That means I rotated the guy wrong. I'm not good on that one. At one point I was halfway decent. I'm just going to play around with his additional rotations. So the computer goes, oh, okay. The game dev guy is relearning stuff. We're gonna close that. Okay, so now I've got that almost figured out. We're just gonna hit minus 90, and then he is 100% perfect. I need to slow down his speed though, because he is gliding. He's moonwalking. He's moon just gliding across the floor. We need to tell ABG to calm down. But there we go. I need to slow him down just a smidge bit, but we have the basics done where he's causing everybody motion sickness. And then he himself is not, actually I think he is dynamic. and he's just walking across the place, and then he's going to collect a key and then unlock the door. Oh, but it's going to be classic 3D. Or hold on, third person. There we go. We're going to do that. Third person. And then what we're going to do with the character himself is we're going to do the move speed of 0.5. And we're going to do the rotation speed of 150. Jump speed, run speed 0.1. And then we're going to play this guy again. And that'll be it for this one. Edit it, upload it, and then we're going to work on the next one where we're going to do kind of more of like go back a step to where it's the storytelling, the menu, basic menu functions, and then we're going to go into key collecting. So he collects a key, unlocks the door, and then starts his little adventure. And then I do select videos on that project for a Armor Games HTML upload. There we go. That is a whole lot better. I might make it just a little bit more so it's more realistic. And rotation. And then his running. I'll replace his running. And right now it's like fast walking. We're going to replace it with running. And then his jump is like nothing. So I'm going to add a jump. And then we're going to do collecting, picking, and then weapon shooting. But here's something I'm going to do real quick. There we go. Okay, and then the character. Well, we're gonna do what the third person camera is looking at. Third person height. We're gonna add 5. That might be too much. We're gonna do this one more time. To where I want us to. Yeah, we're gonna be looking at the character from behind to see what he's seeing, but we're not gonna be like looking down right at like the back of his bald spot. Pretty sure I had the professional version. Okay, there we go. We're not like staring at him. I probably will go up to 15? We'll go with 15. That might be me doing too much. We'll do 10. And that might be too much. Might have to do like 8. Again, in Unity, this would be awesome on like viewports, and I know they've been talking about it since CopperCube 4. I'm gonna have to agree. It should be, hey, you're selecting the camera. You get a mini screen of a viewport of what it's saying. There we go. Actually, I might agree with my previous self. 15. This might be just good enough though. So that's gonna be it on this one. I'll have to edit this, upload this. It's going to be kind of boring, but we're going to do some menus and some basic stuff. Again, it's going to be an HTML game. And then I might play around with a Android device. I'll put up on the screen to where we can practice maybe with some joystick stuff. But it's going to be fun, like Armor Games or Bubble Box or one of those other Antfire Games HTML sites just for giggles. All right, later, guys. Bye.